This is the climatographer's Dr. Mark Trexler with the Climate Countdown for the Costa Report, where our role is to bring you actionable climate knowledge. Today's question, just how much global warming are we in for? To answer the question, we'll be using average global temperature, which is based on aggregating thousands of temperature measurements from around the world into a single global number covering 1 year. It's worth noting that before humans started emitting a lot of greenhouse gases, mostly from burning fossil fuels and clearing forests, the average global temperature had been basically stable for the last 10,000 years. Human societies have evolved during and are adapted to climatic stability. But scientists have now been warning for decades that human activities leading to more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere would bring that 10,000 years of temperature stability to an end. That's why world leaders agreed in 1992 to take steps to avoid dangerous climate change. But they didn't come up with a specific number. It wasn't until 2015 and the Paris Agreement that 2 degrees Celsius by 2100 was officially specified as the threshold for dangerous climate change. World leaders committed themselves to avoiding that threshold and also established an aspirational goal of keeping average global temperature change substantially below that level. 1.5 degrees is the most commonly used number for that aspirational goal. These two numbers, 2 degrees and 1.5 degrees Celsius, are the numbers you've probably heard discussed most often when it comes to climate change. A constant stream of studies and news stories lay out what needs to happen with the world's energy and land use systems to limit average global temperature change to either 1.5 or 2 degrees Celsius. And one message you're probably frequently hearing is, we can still do this. But let's do a reality check. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, recently announced that average global temperature has already risen by almost 1.2 degrees Celsius. In fact, the IPCC projects that we'll get to 1.5 degrees as early as the 2030s, to 2 degrees as early as the 2050s or 2060s, and that we're on track for more than 3 degrees before 2100. Basically, we're not doing nearly enough to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Nevertheless, the IPCC and many other groups continue to insist that we can still avoid the 2-degree danger threshold and even achieve the 1.5-degree aspirational target if we just get serious enough, fast enough about mitigating climate change. But a new study by risk expert George Bacchus challenges that assertion, suggesting that if one removes the rose-colored glasses many people are wearing when carrying out these studies, the best we're likely to be able to do this century is 3.5 degrees Celsius. Either way, many parts of the world are in for all kinds of hurt in coming decades, but 3.5 degrees could be catastrophic. Now, I should note that there's quite a bit of uncertainty around exactly how fast the average global temperature will rise, having to do with how fast we do end up reducing greenhouse gas emissions, how aggressively we deploy new technologies, including carbon capture and storage, and how sensitive the climate ends up being to all of the greenhouse gases we've added to the atmosphere. It's possible we'll get lucky and the temperature will rise more slowly, but it's also possible we'll get unlucky and trigger climate change tipping points that could accelerate global warming. So what's the actionable knowledge takeaway? At this point, limiting climate change to 2 degrees Celsius, much less 1.5 degrees, would take a combination of political and technological miracles. We either need to figure out how to deliver on those miracles or prepare for a lot more climate change and climate risk than most policymakers and business leaders have been talking about. This is Mark Trexler with the Costa Report's Climate Countdown. Thanks for listening.